Hello, my name is John Sveck. Welcome to this All 24 video. Today, Coach Waterman and I are joined by guest coach Garth Melrose. He is the special teams coordinator and running backs coach for the Calgary Colts. Thanks for being with us, Coach.
You bet. Thanks for having me, coaches.
All right, so here we are, Coach. We have some film queued up here. So you want to talk us through a little bit of your protection concepts?
You bet. So I think we're kicking right here, but we can see. So let's assume we're kicking right. There we go. Perfect. So I can see we've got a guy head up on the center, but we've got 3 to the right. So it looks like 22 here has said leave the middle guy. Our right tackle is going to take that end. You bet. 42 here, our right guard just recognizes right away that his guy is not coming, so he's gone. 39 is going to stay in protection. I don't like how our right tackle goes out too wide. Ideally, we'd like him to kind of come straight back. 22, our out back, I'd like him to get out right now as well. But again, kicking to the right, we've got our man side to the right, 3 for 3. Okay, you can see our long snapper is going to step left because that's his zone side A gap. So our long snapper doesn't know if the guy head up on him is coming. He steps left. His gap is threatened, so he's going to get hands on that man. Our left guard is a very smart player, and he knows he's going to help out our long snapper because our long snapper is going to take a second to follow through. So he knows he's got no one threatening his left side B gap, so he's going to help out our long snapper. And once our long snapper engages with that rusher, our left guard knows he's good, and he escapes to get down into coverage. Where else we go? So let's look at our left tackle. Again, he's got that zone side C. He recognizes his man's not coming, and he's gone. He's going to go look to help on contain on that side.
That zone side up back then, his first look is that A gap. Is that correct? Then to outside, or what's his progression there?
You betcha. He's going to look to that man side A gap, so our right A gap here. He sees that there's no threat. I'd like him to scan left now and just see if he can help anybody out, and then he's gone. So you betcha. We got 4 guys to that left zone side, and that right side A gap is included on the zone side on the left.
And Coach, you mentioned 42 here, getting some of the guys taking off right away. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things those guys are looking for to tell them that whether stay in protection or to release right away?
You betcha. Generally when a guy's across from you and he's coiled up and he's down low and he's in an explosive position, that's a hint that he's coming. At this level, a lot of guys are really good at disguising that. But generally speaking, watching film on your opponent and getting a feel for what their return team wants to do is one way. But as far as body language goes, I mean, if he's on his heels a little bit and he's passive looking, that's a hint that he's not coming. And if he's raring to go and he's heavy forward and coiled up and ready to go, then you can assume he's coming. Again, once the ball gets snapped, things change, and you can read that same type of body language. Is he backing up? Is he grabbing you? Is he holding you up, or is he trying to get past you? So again, it's an easy key first before the snap, but again after the snap, it tells you even more. So you've got to be able to think fast.
Perfect. And we have one more clip here to talk protection, Coach.
Great. So let's count them up in the box. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 purple jerseys. So again, easy math. That tells me it's a 2 returner. We've got 7 to block 6. So whether we're man side to one side or zone side to the other, we're good. I believe we're man side to the right. So again, when we look at the right tackle 39, his man is that edge player. He knows this because the upbacks told those guys to leave someone alone. Our right guard knows he's got that player threatening the A gap. He's going to stay on him. And our right up back is going to leave the middle player. Right here, he recognizes that he's not coming, so he can either help or he can go right now, and he chooses to go right now. When we look at our long snapper all the way to the left, to our zone side, which is left, again, that left guard is going to help out his long snapper real quick with his tightened alignment, because that gap is threatened and that long snapper needs to follow through. He's going to help out his long snapper for a second, but you can see here, 54 knows his B gap is his gap, and he's got a guy coming through that B gap. So again, that needs to be a special player. He's got to help out the long snapper, but also take his man. When we go to our left tackle here, 45, he knows C gap is his gap. His guy's pretty aggressive, so he stays in to protect. Left side up back, zone side up back. You can see him looking at that man side A gap just to see if he needs to help. He's scanning. he realizes that he can go. So again, 7 versus 6, we should be pretty good for pro here, which means our cover guys, might deal with some traffic running down the field.
I noticed, Coach, on both your man side and your zone side, those initial steps are similar. You're using sort of a kick slide and using a little bit of depth to your advantage. Can you talk about that technique a little bit?
You betcha. I like the inside foot up. It's comfortable for the guys, and it protects our long snap area as well. It protects our kick point. If we need to wash a guy to the outside a little bit, we want our punter stepping up to kick, not having to step out to kick. So to me, that's essentially the reason why the inside foot is up. But just like you said, it's, if our offensive line coach can coach these guys, that's ideal because it's very similar. And as you can see here, the toughest thing for the tackles is not to jump out wide. We're coaching our guys all season on trying to kick straight back. These guys are doing a great job of protection. But using your offensive line techniques, that kick step is exactly how we teach it. And we try to, mimic an offensive lineman. For the zone side, for the man side, we teach the same concepts on the offensive line with the running backs. So our up backs should have a pretty good sense of this already. And we like running back types there.
And Coach, can you talk a little bit about sort of timing from a protection scheme standpoint and when those guys should be releasing and going downfield? Do you have some coaching points for them? A feel?
You betcha. After a couple seconds, that punch should be gone. At the younger levels, I've had a lot of success telling those young guys just to wait for the thud of the kick. So I think it depends on the level, but the higher level you go, for us at the junior level, we're really going to make sure those guys, read what's in front of them, prepare for the opponents, and really game plan for that matchup all week and throughout the game as well. But generally speaking, at the younger levels, you can wait for that kick to go. But if your gap or your man is not threatening, you can choose to help someone out real quick, or you can get downfield. Again, if the box is light, we may want to help out our cover guys a little bit because that means they're going to have some traffic downfield.
And how important it is for those up backs to not step backwards. With a lot of young players, you see them, they want to move backwards when they got a guy running at them. And so that can kind of get in the way of the punter, right?
You betcha. That's the danger right there. There's nothing worse than a punter not being able to follow through or having to adjust his kick point when the whole scheme is designed for that specific kick point. And backing up as well, is not a powerful position to be in. Is we want our guys to have fast feet, but we're going to slowly approach our man. So if anything, I'd rather them getting in trouble for attacking their man as opposed to backing up.
That's great. Phenomenal, Coach. We're going to talk some coverage here. So why don't you want to start us out on this coverage clip?
You betcha. So we're stacked here. We've got our 2x2. I really like this stack position. The ball's gone and our guys are already off. So if we're kicking right here, we'll see if our right side gunner and wing switch, or however they decide to play it out. We should see a halo down here with 3 players coming up, which we're starting to see. If you want to stop right there, the player here in red, right on the 40, he's doing his best to get to the depth of the returner. So right now he's not at the depth of the returner, which allows that big lane to the left. And although we do have number 40 down here for ultimate contain, we are working to get to the edge of that halo right now with that first player. So let's see how this plays out. Good. So right there, now we've cut off that returner to the field side with our halo, and he's basically got a lot of less space to work with. We should have someone within a 5-yard radius, boom, right there, nose to nose, attacking that player from the front side of the halo, and then again that boundary side wide out is working to get to the depth of the returner, and he's getting caught up there. So he's losing that battle out there on the sideline. So if that returner chooses to go boundary, there could be potentially no halo there. We've got probably about 2 out of 3 guys on the halo, but those 2 players play it perfectly, I think, and the returner stopped in his tracks. If that slot back to the field side doesn't get to the depth of the returner, I think that returner might have some space in the field.
And are there any coaching points you tell your lane players as they release, Coach?
Yeah, you bet. Don't end up behind your own color. So if you end up stacked behind your own player, as the player behind, it's probably on you to adjust and do your best to understand that, the five of you are working together. That long snapper may take a little while to get there, and your up back may be busy. So again, keep your head on a swivel and don't stack your own player as a general rule while they fly down.
That's great, and a great look at it there, Coach. And I think we have one more coverage clip here to go over.
Okay. Again, we're stacked here to the field. We're just a little late to get lined up. Now we're trips to the field. All right, we're kicking boundary here, so we're kicking away from the trip. So again, that boundary wideout is certainly going to be the outside player in that halo. It's a nice deep kick, so we don't get a perfect halo yet, but it forms. So once again, you can see that field side slop back, really getting to the depth of the returner. There he is, that field side. I guess he was the front of the wedge here. But either way, we get a nice halo there. And those three players being far away from the kick, they need to get over there now, and they need to know exactly who's going to stay as ultimate contain and who's going to get in there on the halo. And that's what we start to see here is 2 out of those 3 players are going to go join that boundary wide out, get that halo set as quick as possible. Sometimes when we outkick our coverage a little bit, it's not a bad thing because that means we've got a good kick, and now we don't have to worry about slowing down to not break that 5-yard rule. We can actually continue to accelerate. So again, depending on how you look at it, this is a good play here.
Are you preferring an outside release with your boundary wide out? I mean, he takes an inside release here. If they're really forcing him inside, do you allow that as long as he stacks, or what are your coaching points on that?
You betcha. I mean, similar to a wide receiver up against the corner, if he's going to take away a section of the field, we'd actually like to even widen him to that side of the field as well. So if he's going to take away the sideline, we might even line up a little wider, and he's going to have to maintain his outside shade. That allows us to be a little physical and then work inside with a little more room to get back outside if we get too far inside. So essentially, we'll game plan for that, but that player knows that he's gonna have to set up the defender just like the defender's trying to set him up. Again, I believe he's got more space to work with, and he's got the advantage there. So we expect to win that one-on-one.
Perfect. And as a final clip here, we have a little bit of a punt fake that this spread formation kind of allows. You want to talk us through this one, Coach?
You bet. So again, it's easy math in the box, but you can see right away here that we're outnumbered in the box. We've got 8 that we need to account for in the box, and although all of them don't come, we need to account for that. However, in this scenario, we chose to take advantage of the 2-on-1 situation to the boundary side here, and instead of asking our slot back to plus into protection, we had an up back who could throw the ball. And we just zipped out a hitch to that side. You can see our wide blocking the corner there. Again, it's 2 versus 1 for numbers there. And although the return team does pursue, if again, like I said, those gunners and wings should be athletes. And this is another great thing to put on film. So that your opponents going forward and the return teams know that we will plus in for protection, but this is also an option as well.
Phenomenal. Well, great breakdown, Coach. I really enjoyed that. So thank you.
You bet. Thanks for having me. That was fun.
Thanks, Coach.